All right. So my computer just crashed, so bear with me. Hasn't done that in a long time. I guess it just needed a break for a second. I've been working it pretty hard for the past couple of weeks. So let me open up the chat. What? Yes, Laura, it did. How's it looking? How's the feed? Looking good? Awesome, awesome. Let me work on this. Having some issues where my right click is not working as it should. That is interesting. Let me look at my mouse settings real quick. All right, so I guess let's do that portion. I need to do some help desk for myself. So let me talk about what problems I'm currently facing. My mouse won't right click. What do I do? So let me see. Secondary click is the right side. I wonder if I can do let me open up Windows here. Oh, it looks like everything that I'm showing on my screen is also inverted. All right, so let me fix that as well. Interesting, interesting. Of course, all of the problems just at go live. So let's take a deep breath and let's figure it out. So my right click, okay, so it's working here, but it's not working anywhere else. Go over here. Okay, it is working there as well. So let me do this. Let me stop that. I'm gonna lose you guys for a second. Let me. All right. So right click is working. What is not working is the mirroring of the capture. Let's see that. Can you guys see me now? Yeah. All right. That looks right to me. Laura, is that now looking the right way? Let me. It's inverted for you. It's still backwards. It looks fine on my side. Well, I'm looking at the recording as well. Laura, what are we thinking? Still looks inverted for you. Ah, I see. I see what you're talking about. Come on. Let me. So how do we fix that? Let's hit. Let's quit this. Let's quit this. Let's quit this. All right. So now let's try this again. Everything is still inverted. Okay, I got it now. Let me try transforming, flip horizontally, start. How about now? We got it. We got it. Oh, oh. Okay. So I had to restart OBS. I guess OBS was the problem. So OBS is where I'm able to stream this virtual camera, so you guys can see not only my screen but also myself inside of the camera, and then we're using Riverside to broadcast this to all of our channels. So we should be on LinkedIn. Let me open up LinkedIn real quick. We should be on YouTube as well. Let's check it out. All right, cool. Cool. Perfect. Perfect. We are on LinkedIn. That's working good. And Laura, for some reason, I don't get the LinkedIn chats here. So if you could keep an eye on it for me and let me know. And then we'll kind of pick it up from there. Let's go to YouTube as well. You should be receiving all of these. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna try something out real quick. Let me see if this will work. How does that look? It's not changing. All right, whatever. We'll just do with what we got. So enough about that. We spent 15 minutes already trying to fix these problems. That is fine. We will move on from here. So we should be good to go. All right, so now what we'll need to do, let's go to, no. Let's go to this PC. So it's sharing my drives between the machine and here. Let me see, there we go. What's on here? There we go, that's what I want to show. All right, so this is File Explorer. I'm not really sure how to make this bigger, right? So let's click on Options, View. All right, let me slow down. So I'm just clicking on things now. So from the top, you can have multiple tabs in your File Explorer. You can move this around. That's new. You can have another tab, which will take you to the home. And then below that, you have your navigations, kind of like a browser here. So you have your back, what your previous action was. After you go back, maybe you want to go forward to where you were before. You can go up a folder. So that's, I haven't seen that before. So now you can go up a directory in the navigation. So I can go to users, and then I can go to local C, then I can go to this PC, and then I can go to, I guess this is a root directory. So I'm gonna go back to this PC. We can refresh if it's not loading. Then we have our path here. So for example, if I go to local PC, if I go like that, so now we're inside of our C drive at the root directory. can cancel that out. We can search the local disk. We can do new what? We can create a new folder here inside of this path. Then once you click on, so you see these things are, these actions are disabled until you actually have something to act upon. So once you click on it one time, it will select that folder. And then from here, you can do these actions. So the scissors are to cut. So now you can cut this folder and then paste it somewhere else. Ooh, I am not going to do that to my Windows folder. So that would be pretty bad for this virtual machine. Let me move myself. There we go. I figured out the problem with OBS now. So if I go to virtual default, it's going to restart the camera. So now I can do what I was trying to do in test before, which is I wanted to show you guys this. And Laura, I wanted to see if this is showing correctly on your side. Sorry, guys, taking a little break from the... Okay, so it is inverted. All right, so let me change that. And how about now? And now I gotta move myself because I'm in the way. I'm in the way, I'm in the way. I don't even know where to put myself. Maybe I don't even need to be on the screen here. Like that. No. There we go. How about that? All right. Perfect. So let me go back, transition over here. All right. Everything was working before, I promise. And then you go live, my computer crashes, everything gets inverted. So might not look like we were prepared, but we were prepared. Just things happen. Oh well. All right. So back to our File Explorer, where we left off last time on exploring Windows 11. So now we're here. We're on the. We can modify the folders here. If you hit home, it's going to show you kind of the defaults here. So you can do quick access. You can also have some favorite files, and it'll show them here. And anything that's been recent will show up here as well. So let me see here how. So going back up here, you can copy. Where's the copy here? So if I click on this file, which is an MP3 file, I can copy it, and then I can paste that. Once I copy it, I can paste that into, so for example, if I go into a folder, so I'm going to go to the public folder, public downloads, and so this folder is empty, and I want to put it here. I should be able to paste it here. So I have the option to paste it here. So now I have that file, a copy of that file here. I can also click on this icon here, which is like a little A with the cursor on it, to rename. So now I want to say this is a renamed file. what's this? Share. So what happens if I click share here? So now you can share, you have no contact. So I guess this is using your, if you're logged into your Microsoft account, it will leverage some of the information from your Microsoft account to share that information, which I am not logged in. So I don't have many options there. I can also delete it, which is the trash can. We can sort by name, by date modified, by type. We can do more. So we can sort by size, the date that this file was created, by the authors, by the tags, by the title. Things to note here, by default, it's just showing me the name, date modified, the type, and the size. If we want to see more, we should be able to add more columns. So let's find that place. Where can we add the more columns? So now I'm in view. Use checkboxes to select multiple items easier. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so if you go under view, show, item checkboxes, it's going to automatically always show you checkboxes so that you can select multiple items to manipulate at the same time, which is actually pretty cool because now you can kind of have better control with your mouse as to what you want to manipulate, and you can manipulate a whole file, a whole folder. I actually like that. I actually like that a lot. I'm gonna leave that on. And that's actually good to know for it's just good to know. All right, so now you have this annoying checkbox that's always gonna be there, and you're welcome. If you want to remove it, you go to show and uncheck this item checkboxes here. So here it's showing the checkboxes, it's showing the file name extensions, it's also showing hidden files. How do you know it's a hidden file? If I go back to this PC and go to the C drive, you see these files that are a little opaque. How can I zoom in? I want to zoom in for you guys. Let me see here. Oh, I got an idea. We can use some accessibility tools. Where are they at? Accessibility, magnifier. Yes, I want to go over here. All right. So now, you see these files right here? Let me get my face out of the way a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So you see these files that are a little bit more opaque or just look like they have a shadow around them. That means they're hidden. So that's Microsoft's way of showing you, of showing hidden files. Actually, if I go to view, and let's scroll down to show, and let's actually scroll down to hidden items. If I uncheck this, you'll see that they disappeared. So they're no longer there. I don't like surprises, and I don't like not knowing where things are. So I always like to see on my Windows machines all the files regardless, right? But that comes at a price as well. Because I know I am not supposed to really mess with these hidden files. They're hidden for a reason, right? Microsoft hid them for a reason. They don't want a regular person seeing them, manipulating them, playing with them, adjusting them, things like that, because they could be critical to the operating processes. or you can break things, right? So essentially, these portions, they're critical to the operating system in most cases. And so if you were to manipulate them, delete them, do anything to some of these files, you're going to have to reinstall Windows again. And you're going to have to fix your operating system and figure out how to do that. So if you are not comfortable with those hidden files, or if you're a curious cat and you don't trust yourself with seeing things that you will potentially play with later, then just go ahead and hide those from yourself so that you don't break your operating system. Okay, so these are just things that are necessary for your operating system to work. So there we go. So I'm going to leave the magnifying glass on because I feel like it's a better experience for the both of us. I'm actually going to make myself a little bit smaller. Oh. Give me 1 second. I need to actually turn it off real quick because I cannot go to my other screens. There we go. What I wanted to do is make my camera a little bit smaller so that when I do magnify, you can see more of the screen and not more of me. So there we go. I think that's more appropriate. All right. So File Explorer. If we go on here. So with this PC on the left-hand side, this is going to be navigations. So you can see everything that's pinned here. You have home, gallery, then these are your pinned files. Below that, you're going to have like system files in your network. So here you can see the networks that you're connected to. So if you have network files or file sharing on or things like that, or computers that are on the network that you that are sharing files, you'll be able to see them here. We'll probably talk about how to set that up maybe in a future episode. Media servers, etc., file servers. You'll probably see them in your network here. And so you can actually map network drives, etc. Don't have an example to show you guys right now, so just going to give you guys that high-level overview there. Then from this PC, you'll be able to see all of the drives that are connected to the computer here. So I have my iCloud. This is on a Mac. I'm using Parallels. It has some native connectivity between my Mac and the Windows machine here, but you can see that I can review my Mac hard drive, and then I also have a virtual hard drive on this Windows machine where the actual operating system is installed, which is most likely always going to be local disk, always C. You can change that. You can Google on how to do that. But you can definitely do that when you're doing the Windows installation. If you don't want the default to be C, you can change it to whatever you want. But it's always been C for me. Don't really like to mess around with that stuff too much. Because then all of the documentation on Google, when they're telling you, hey, go to this path, and you're trying to copy and paste it, you're going to always have to modify that code to be, hey, I'm not using the C path, I'm using the whatever path you set it, right? So now it's not as easy as a copy and paste anymore. So you lose efficiency there. Anyways, I digress. There's things I think about. So going back, let's go back to local disk C. I'm going to go to our public user here, just because I don't want to show you, accidentally some stuff from my personal machine that I shouldn't be showing. So going back over here. So what we want to know is how to add more columns. I just figured it out just by right-clicking at the top here. So if you right-click on the columns, you can actually check what things you want. So I'm going to put date created. I want to remove the contributing artist. I don't care about the album. So type, title. What is this? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that hashtag is. Oh, is that tags? Is that tags? Is that what that means? Let's look it up. I got to turn off the magnifying glass to look it up. Actually, I'm just going to open up Chrome here. Go to the browser. Oh, maybe I shouldn't magnify too high. There we go. That's fine. Okay, so let's go to Google. Then let's see on File Explorer hash column. What does that mean? Maybe I should ask a more specific. All right. Super user. Thank you. I love this forum. It solved a lot of problems for me in the past. Definitely got to read what people are saying in order to put it together. But what does the hash mean in the Windows file? Is this not the exact same problem that we're looking for? All right. Never seen something written on the column. All right. It means, oh, okay. So that makes sense. So it's for track number. So if you have music, if you're ripping music CDs and it's albums, right? So you'll have track 1 through, typically 15 or 16. Then you have, so track, number, title, album. Makes sense. Okay, so this is really talking about music tracks. Oh, thank you. Who's this guy? Who's this guy that posted this answer? Thank you, LV. You know what? Can I up? Oh, I don't want to sign in. Sorry, man. You missed out on an uptick, but great answer. Makes sense. So it allows, so you can query music using the Windows Explorer. Okay, awesome. So now the track numbers are here. You can get them in order. You can sort them in order. And that's what that means. I have no use for this information, but now I know. And maybe it showed up because we're talking about an MP3 player here, right? So that makes sense. So don't need it. Don't need the title either. Name is fine. Type, created, the size would be great. Could I change the size type by default? Ooh. Let me zoom in. Can I change this from kilobits? I want to change it from kilobits to megabytes. Can I do that? Let's look at it. Options. Let's bring this over here. What options do we have? Folder options. Open File Explorer to home. Let's do this PC. So I like to set it up. I always want to go to my root directory. From the root directory, you can always go wherever you want. Let's click on the view. Advanced settings, always show icon, never thumbnails, decrease space between items, compact view, display file, size, information, and folder tips. Okay. Doesn't matter. We can say it's about 12 megabytes. But anyways, let's see what else we got. So we have name, track number, title. So these 4 things are all about music categorization. So you have track number, the title of the music, the contributing artists, the album that it's coming from. So that's all album artists as well. Okay. Yeah, genre. Oh, so a lot of these columns are music related. Interesting. Date modified. Makes you want to go look up the history. The history as to why this music shaped the view, the columns of the file explorer, which makes sense, right? Organizing music, using file explorer, remember with LimeWire and stuff like that, just downloading loads of music. So I can burn this to a disk. Let me see here. We can burn to a disk. Won't let me go any further up than that. All right. Okay, so File Explorer, details, we can make them tiles. Oh, now it changed it to megabytes. Okay. That's why I said it was about 12 megabytes, because it's not from kilobytes to megabytes, it's not a, it's not a you can't just move the decimal points. There's actual math conversion to change it from kilobytes to, it's like a third. It's always like a third. When you go up a size, it's always around a third. You lose about a third from kilobytes to megabytes of conversion, right? So for example, changing that back to a tile view, we've from 12.1 kilobytes to 11.8, it's about a third. So anyways, it does the conversion for you automatically. Don't need to do the math. Content. So you can change how it looks. You want to look at big icons, you can change that. I like the list view or the detail view here because I like to see everything about the file. You can also look at the details pane. So this is what the details pane here. So if I click on this file, you'll get some more information about this file. The location. Let me make this bigger. Right? So location, size, also in megabytes. So all of the information here. Okay. Right. So that's there. Let's go to what's properties going to do. Okay, so we can get to prop. So if I select on this and go to this 3 dots and go to properties, it's going to open up the properties for that selected file. That's the equivalent of right-clicking on the file and going to properties here. So now these are all the properties about the file. You can see what type of file it is. If I were to open it, it will open with, by default, it will open with this media player. You can change that if you have another media player that you want to use. I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to leave it like that. But as you can see on my Mac, I do have some other applications that can open it up. You can see the location of the file, the size on disk. So this is the actual size of the file, but then the size on disk might be a little bit bigger. As you can see, there's a little bit of a difference there in bytes. And I'm pretty sure that that's the instruction. Essentially like the instruction path of here's where it needs to, here's where it's saved, here's why it's saved there, so it's storing more information about that file, the specifics of that file, and how, probably some instruction code as to how to use that on the disk. And that's why usually the size on disk is going to be a little bit bigger than the actual size of the file, because it's always going to store a little bit more information about it on the disk as to why it's there. Don't know the answer completely, but that's what I'm thinking. That's what makes sense to me right now. I'll probably look it up later and tell you guys for sure next time how exactly that works. So sorry guys, I just had to change screens real quick. When it was created, when it was last modified, when it was last accessed. So we've been playing around with this file for the past 21 minutes. You can put some attributes here, so it's read-only. This is where we can make it hidden. I can pretty sure if I apply this, you can see that it turned a little opaque, like it has a shadowy. It's in the shadows, it's hidden, right? I'm gonna take that off. And then there's some advanced settings that we can do with the file. So the file attributes file is ready for archiving. Allow this file to have contents indexed in addition to file properties. Okay. Compressor encrypt attributes. Encrypt contents to secure data. What does that do? What do I do? Not going to do this right now. Actually, what am I afraid of? Where am I? Let's do something. Let's do something. I'm going to go to the root directory. I'm going to actually create a new folder here. And we're going to say encrypted files and hit enter. I'm going to jump in here. Do I still have it? I still have it in my clipboard. So I just pasted. Remember that file that we copied all the way at the beginning? I'm just going to paste it again here. And I'm going to go back to properties, advanced, and let's encrypt this. Let's see what happens. Apply. Let's do both because it says it's encrypted. But what does it do? It's now encrypted. But what do I do with it? Security. I wonder, can I play it? I can play it. All right. So, I guess the file is encrypted and the folder is now encrypted, but I don't know what to do. Details. Ooh, okay, so, all right, I got it. So now if I go to properties and if I go to advanced and I go to, now that it's encrypted, I can now go to the details of the file and I can add users who can have access to this file on this machine. Maybe I shouldn't be showing you that thumbprint, but I can create backup keys in the event that for some reason my user account gets corrupted. I have to delete the user account, but I still want to get access to this file. So what are these used for? Like encrypted files, right? You want to encrypt the file because you don't want everybody to have access to it, or you only want specific people to have access to it. And so that's where you would encrypt the file. Now, in order to decrypt the file, number one, they have to have access to the file. So that's what we're showing on the screen. And so now you can add a user to it. So this is going to prompt this Windows security. Okay. So this is, okay. The thing here is because I don't have any other users on this machine, it's just myself. There's really no one else that I can assign this file to. So I'm showing you, but essentially what you would be doing is you would then select the other user and issue them a certificate to the file. And then once they're there, they should be able to have access to this file. They will have the decryption keys to open up that file without any problems. If I were to be logged in with someone that doesn't have the decryption keys to this file, then they wouldn't be able to open it, or at least they wouldn't be able to see the information or be able to stream it or be able to play the MP3 file. So that's kind of the thing here. So if I were to back it up, I'd be able to export the certificate and I would store that obviously somewhere that I feel is secure to me. I would probably save that on my LastPass password management account and just store the backup keys on there if I wanted to. You know, if I lose access to this user account or for some reason it loses the keys, and so I have to reset that up. And so I would use my backup keys to add whatever user I'm accessing the file to now install a new certificate and, you know, grab that certificate from the backup key that I got or download it from my LastPass and then, you know, put it where I need it to be. So that is, does that answer your question, Laura? This is essentially forever, it's encrypted forever. It's encrypted until we decrypt it. So now we can decrypt it, right? And if I hit apply, what's going to happen? So now, because my user already had access to that file, it already had the decryption keys. Now it's decrypted, so that file is no longer encrypted separately. This is different than the BitLocker that we spoke about earlier, right? So for the BitLocker, that encrypts everything on your drive, everything that's on the hard drive. It gets all of it gets essentially sandwiched between an encryption layer, and then this would be a second layer encryption on top of that. So now if the whole, if we're thinking about our hard drive like a sandwich, all of our data is inside as the meat. Our sandwiches, the bread or the buns are the encryption layers. And then for now we're making a Big Mac, because now within the sandwich, we're going to have some more bread that is the encryption as well, right? And then within there, we have some other data that's encrypted. So we have a sandwich inside of a sandwich. A Big Mac, a big Mac. Big Mac. Big Mac. Okay. So anyways, it's just encryption layers. You have the outer one, which encrypts your whole drive. Let's say they get through that. You left your keys laying around somewhere. Now, once you're inside a machine, now they'll have to be able to decrypt that file again. So essentially, this file would be double encrypted if I had BitLocker. All right. So sorry, I got extremely technical there for this file. So that is the case. Let me wrap up here on File Explorer and the navigation pane. So you saw that you can do new here. When you're at the parent level on here, there's nothing else we can do except create a new folder. But now once I'm inside of a folder and I hit new, I can create a shortcut. I can create another image. I can create a text file, or I can do a zip folder, which is now a compressed folder, which has nothing in it. Usually what you'll want to do is compress into a folder, right? So for example, this MP3, I want to compress to a zip file. And so now it's compressed into this folder. And so, Eric, why do you want to compress things? Usually it makes the size a little bit better. And then also it makes it so that everything is kind of just locked away. If you're sending it over the internet or something like that, it's just going to keep it all together. Essentially, you're making a vehicle to transport it. Where if you have multiple things in there, you don't want each of those things to be sent individually. You're essentially making a vehicle for all of the files that can now move together as a unit. Why does that matter to you? Doesn't really matter that much nowadays. Everything pretty much moves fast, but think about it. Back in the days where internets were slow, and you would have to kind of just look at the packets, and it would say it's going to take X amount of days to package things out. It kind of helps that everything is being sent as a whole rather than you receiving pieces of it, because a program can be launched in pieces. It can be launched as a whole, right? It needs all of its components to launch. And so that's where it becomes important, where it needs to be as a whole or nothing. All right, so I'm being told that I am all out of time for today. So now I'm gonna wrap it up with the sorting. So you can sort by name and all of these other things. You can make it ascending, descending. You can group by columns as well. So if you're looking at years, you can see that it'll be unspecified, and now you can toggle between those years. Let's say, I'm gonna show you my downloads, because my downloads is always a mess. I never clear it out. So you can see that this should be by date created. And if I do that, You can see everything that I created today, yesterday, blah, 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 blah. And you can, so it just kind of organizes it a little bit better. I don't want to group by, so we can do group by none, and then it goes back to where it was. Views, we went through that. And then your ellipses here, 3 dots, ellipses, gives you some more settings. You can select all, select none. You can do inversion selected. So if I select 2 and I say, well, I want to select the inversion of that, so it's going to select everything but those 2. And then if you go to options, it will give you some more options here, which we played around earlier, which are folder options. We didn't really go through here in depth. You know, you can show encrypted or compressed files in a different color. I could have shown you that. But other than that, these, you would know what you wanted from these settings if you were going to come in here to change them. There's really not much to change here. Then search. So how to search. Don't use the index when searching in folders. Okay. So what this means is that when you're inside a folder, it's going to try and search as fast as possible within the folder that you're in. If you check this, then that means it's going to search everything. When searching to non-index locations, include system directories. Yep. Okay, include compressed files. Okay, so you can search inside of files, and then you can always search file names and contents. This might take some. So this is just making your search more open. So by default, it's going to be pretty specific. If you start checking these things, then why is it taking so long to search for something in your file explorer? Because it's looking for everything. And so this kind of helps out from that perspective. All right, so let me turn off the magnifying glass, and then then we will do our spiel here. So this is the portion of the show where we sell something, right? All right. So let's rethink automations, and you know, this is how EB DevTech does stuff. So imagine gaining back 10 hours every week. What would your team achieve with that extra time? So at EB DevTech, we empower businesses to stop managing busy work and start focusing on what matters most. And so here's how we've helped teams like yours. So for finance teams, we had a client where we reduced manual reporting by 80%, saving 8 hours a week. That's an entire extra workday that you can use for strategizing and figuring out what's the next thing that you can do better. For HR departments, we've helped streamline interview scheduling so that HR teams could spend more time finding the right candidates and less time juggling emails. And then for sales teams, that we saw a 25% increase in active selling time after automating the account research and proposal preparation, right? So all of these are all automations that we've leveraged using AI. And then our solutions are tailored to your needs, right? So integrated with your tools that you already use and ready to deliver measurable results, usually in less than a month, right? More complex solutions require a little bit more time, but that's where we're differentiators. We're trying to show you the value as soon as possible so that we can build from there. So what's next? Schedule your free 15-minute consultation today, and let's build productivity blueprints that work for your business. And don't wait, because your competition surely isn't. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to this help desk today. I hope you guys come with some more meaning, any type of questions, whether it's IT, AI, any technology questions, throw them in the chat, and forget about what I'm showing on the screen. I'm just exploring things that I thought I knew and seeing how they work and how they're operating today. So yeah, don't worry about what we're showing. Interrupt me. We can deviate the plan. As you can see, I'm trying not to sit in front of you waiting for questions to come. I'm trying to learn as the questions come in. So just think about it as an office hour. Ask what you need and leave with solutions that will make your life better and easier. All right, Eric out. Take care.